Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to another session of Webinar Wednesday. Yet another week, huh? Okay, so today we will be covering on a new topic, a brand new topic, which is touching on the segment, which is EC, Executive Condominium. Okay, and it will be a slightly longer session. Okay, I try to let you guys off earlier, lah, if possible, but there is quite a bit of content to cover. Not just on the tools that we have in EdgeProp, but also a bit of insights on how the market is going with relevance to our current situation right now. Okay, so let's get started. Quick disclaimer here, and of course, these are your account managers. If you don't know them, okay, or if this is the first time you're attending our training, do take down your respective account managers' contact number. They would be the best person for you to reach out to. Okay, not just for signing up or renewing, but if you do need any form of help with the tools as well, they are also very well versed with which tool to use to get what kind of information. Of course, you can also reach them if you face any technical difficulties. There will be times where they are busy as well. So an alternative number that you can reach us at would be the office hotline, which you can see on the top left-hand corner of the screen right now. 69707793. Do take note, this is a new number because we just shifted office. So if you have saved our number some time back, you might want to update the office number, okay? And also we also have a office WhatsApp. This is really useful if let's say you need to send us screenshots of videos, which, if over the phone, it might be a bit difficult to explain. Okay, of course, for the office context, this would be during office hours, 9 to 5 p.m. Thereafter, please still reach out to your respective account managers. And then, for those of you who are new to us, and you have not joined us on our social media, do join us on Facebook. Okay, Facebook, we actually have a group called EdgeProp Agent. Okay, remember, it is the group, not the page. And you can scan the QR code, or you can search in the app for this EdgeProp Agent Facebook group. Why should you join us here? It is really so that you will not miss on any latest news, promos, training details, as well as the most updated contact details. Okay, so you might be taking down on the numbers from the earlier screen just now, but just in case there's any updates, this would be the place to get the most updated information. Okay, so do join us here. And for those of you who are not so into Facebook, an alternative platform that you can stay connected with us would be Telegram. Okay, so same thing, you can scan the QR code, or if you can copy the link on the left hand side, you'll be able to join our agent channel on Telegram. Okay, so pretty much the same kind of information you get on Facebook, but sometimes in case you miss one, you still have another way, an alternative way for us to reach you guys at. Okay, so either or you can download both, it's fine. If I am moving too fast, you haven't taken out your phone to scan the QR code, you haven't gotten the link yet, no worries. You would be able to revisit today's training, okay, via the same link that you used to join today's training. So it's the YouTube link. Now it is a live session, but once we are done with live, okay, you can always revisit today's training with the same link. Okay, so you can always toggle through the video to find the part that you want to revisit. And for those of you who don't already know yet, we actually have a function that which allows you to sync your listings from Portal Red over to EdgeProp, absolutely free. And basically we pull most of the information, such as your photos, your description, and of course the main fields, over without you having to retype everything again. Okay, so the sync button can be found under the agent dashboard under the section where you have all your listings. So you'll be able to find the sync with other portals button. Okay. Do take note the sync function only works for residential properties. So if you have listings in the for commercial or industrial, you will still have to manually type it in. Okay, so this is the method if let's say you are doing your syncing via the website, okay, edgeprop.sg. Alternatively, you can also do your syncing via the app. For Android, it would be the refresh button on the top right corner. Okay, so same login, just log in to the EdgeProp Agent app. Okay, under the very first tab called Manage, this is where you have all your listings and you will be able to sync your listings over just by clicking on the refresh looking button. Okay, for those of you who are on iOS, you need to click on the menu button, the one with three dots on the top right hand corner, and you will see the option called sync with other portals. Okay, so it works exactly the same. Do take note, of course, some of you guys are actually using a third-party app. It could be maybe belonging to your agency or your division, or it could be a app that was created basically to manage your listings across the different platforms. Do take note, if you are using such an app, it will actually override the sync function. Okay, so that means to say you may be clicking sync here, but it's not going to work because you have another app that actually overrides this function. Okay, so if you don't want to use that third-party app that you're already using, or maybe you have used it before, you have stopped using it, but somehow the sync doesn't work for you, check with your account managers. We can actually clean up your account for you so that the sync function would work perfectly fine for you. Okay, so this would be syncing via the web app, via the web or the app, depending on Android or iOS. Okay, also one more thing before we get officially started on today's topic itself is the new product that we launched sometime during circuit breaker, which is called EdgeProp Cast. So if you go to our main website right now, you will see under the top panel where all the buttons are at, there is one more section called EdgeProp Cast. This is basically a think of it as the Netflix for property. You have all the videos that are related to property in this segment. Okay, so if you are one of the video creators who actually create your own videos, okay, property related, of course, you would want to join us here. This is absolutely free. We just need your videos to be either on YouTube or Facebook so that we can have them featured in the EdgePropcast section. Okay, so we do have many channels and many videos on board already. We have also heard of agents who got leads or at least some form of branding through this segment. So if you are not with us yet, do register here. And if you want to find out a little bit more, we have a number to call, which is at the bottom right hand corner. Okay, this would allow you to reach us. Okay, so my colleague Nav, okay, would be able to assist you if let's say you are keen to actually join us on EdgePropcast. Okay, next thing. Oh, okay. So this is actually the official training for EC right now. So let's go back to let's go back in timeline, okay, and let's look at the three important years that you should be looking at. So when was EC first launched? Would be actually in 1996, and that was really long time ago, more than 20 years ago. Okay, in 1996, and similar to the current situation, it is a hybrid property, somewhat in between HDB, which is public, and in between private. Okay, in between public and private. So of course, with a slightly more affordable price, okay, there will also come along certain restrictions and eligibility requirements. Okay, so one of it, of course, would be your nationality. Okay, this one is really focusing more on your local citizens. Okay, your Singaporeans and PRs if they marry Singaporeans. Okay, And also, other than that, would be your income. Okay, of course, over the years, the income ceiling was increased. Okay, from I think it was as low as 10, 12,000, and then now it is as high as 16,000. Okay, other than that, there's also restrictions on loan and all that. Okay, the good thing, of course, is when you purchase an EC, because it is a hybrid, buyers would also be able to enjoy grants, which is something that you won't be able to enjoy if you were to purchase a private property. Okay, and the good thing is after 10 years. Okay, so you have the after 5 years MOP, which is one of the restriction in a way. Okay, just like your HDB, you need to fulfill 5 years MOP. But after 10 years, you would be able to sell to foreigners. Okay, so that means after 5 years, I can sell to Singaporeans and PRs, and after 10 years, I can sell to foreigners. Okay, so it's as good as fully privatized. So many years after, in 2008, some of you might remember the introduction of the DBSS. Quite a number of projects were launched. For example, the peak at Toa Payoh, and then I think there's one at Tampines, Boon Keng, quite a few locations. Okay, so this was actually intended to replace the EC scheme. Okay, some slight difference is that I've actually been to one of them before, and it is sort of gated. Okay, there's no security, no facilities like pool, tennis court, that kind, but the building is nicer. Okay, it is developed by private developers. Okay, so in terms of the design, it's definitely nicer. Somewhat like condo, also with balconies, most of them. Okay, but it still feels overall more HDB than private. So if you were to actually put them on a scale, okay, HDB, it will be HDB, DBSS, EC, followed by private. Okay, so it is more HDB than more private, if you ask me. But the good thing is that DBSS, okay, generally the locations are better than ECs. Okay, so you get something more public housing, but in better location, versus the ECs where you have more lifestyle. You have the security guards, the swimming pools, the gym, the sauna, but the location are not generally not as ideal. Okay, so since 96 all the way to 2008, there was a total of 23 ECs that were being launched. Okay, and obtained TOP. Okay, thereafter they tried to introduce the DBSS, but it didn't quite work out. So if you look at 2010, okay, okay, if you look at 2010, it would be actually EC sales was resumed. That's so there was actually quite a few years of gap where there were no launch, there was no land that was launched under government land sales that is for EC. Okay. On the other hand, we saw the DBSS got killed. It was suspended in 2011. Okay, and since 2010, okay, since 2010, there were a total of 46 ECs, and of course we have new ones coming up as well. What other changes happened in the last 10 years is that we had the mortgage service ratio. So we had TDSR, which is the 60% of your income for private properties. Okay, for MSR, this is applicable for the HDBs as well as ECs, which is basically you can only use 30% of your income to pay for the installment. So technically speaking, it is harder for people to buy a EC with the same. I mean, in comparison to a private, it was harder to buy an EC with the same income. Okay, of course. That being said, ECs were generally cheaper lah, so plus minus a little bit. And then there's also the resale levies changes that happened. So previously, okay, before 2013, people who bought ECs, if let's say they enjoy a subsidized flat from HDB, okay, so let's say I'm a second timer, my first property is a HDB from it's a HDB that I bought directly, okay, a BTO HDB, or a subsidized flat because I took a resale but with a grant, okay. So what happens is if I had bought a new EC, the thing is I didn't have to pay for levy, okay. So if it is from a subsidized flat to a subsidized flat, I will have to pay a resale levy depending on the size of the HDB that I originally got, and it can go up to say 40, I think even 50k worth of levy, okay. But there was a little bit of a loophole there at that point in time. So if I had chosen to go from a subsidized flat to a EC, I didn't have to pay for levy at that point in time, okay. But thereafter, the government came to sort of clamp down on it, and from 2013 onwards, those people who had enjoyed their first subsidized property would have to pay the resale levy when they buy their EC. Okay. Of course, one more recent one was in the last, I think it was just 1-2 years ago, where they increased the income ceiling. So it was from 12k and then 14k and then 16k. I think this really makes sense because it is also in line with the HDB prices, okay, the HDB BTO prices, whereby they also increase the ceiling for HDB. So eventually it will also sort of trickle down to the ECs as well. Okay. I think one thing also to take note, why did they increase the ceiling, is because prices for ECs have been going up. So if you imagine them not increasing the income ceiling, it doesn't make sense for them to actually for prices of EC to increase. That would just mean that, okay, if I have to buy and my income cannot my income is capped at that amount, I can only loan a small amount, and the balance I can only pray that I have rich parents, right? or at least very deep pockets lah. Okay, a lot of savings that I have to dip into. Okay, so it doesn't make sense. Also in conjunction with the prices and the size of the units. I remember there was a point in time when they increased the ceiling. That also, I mean, there was also a cap on the prices, okay, because of the mortgage service ratio. So the bigger units, even if there was a even if there was a the bigger unit, sorry, I just saw a bug and I freak out. Okay, so the bigger units, even with the maximum cap of the ceiling height, they were not able to afford. Okay, purely with a loan and the standard deposit. Okay, so that means to say they need to dip into savings lah. Okay, so it makes sense for them to increase the income ceiling over time. Okay, now before I move to the next screen, I saw that Andrew was asking, will the video be made available? Yes. So if you had caught slightly earlier, okay, before I started the training proper, with the link that you have right now, the YouTube link that you receive in your SMS, or when you register, that same YouTube link, you just need to save that link so that you'll be able to revisit today's training. Okay? Okay, so a little bit on the trends for EC. So this is actually taken from Market Trends, which is one of the tools that we have, okay, that we have on is one of the, on EdgeProp. So I see Irene is asking, has it started? I can't see anything on this YouTube link. Irene, I don't know whether you can see. If you can't see me, I mean, even if I answer, I don't think you can see. So let me just reply, Irene. Yes, started. You might want to refresh your page. Okay. Okay, so back to this. So just now we said that it started as early as 1996, right? ECs was first launched in 96. And all the way until now, it is actually a good 24 years, okay? And how have prices moved so far? we are looking at 173% since 1996. Okay, and you can see how the prices have went up. In 1996, the average price was at a 404 per square foot. Okay, if you actually are on the live market trends page, you actually can mouse over each of the what is it called, the column. Okay, you can click on it and you'll be able to see where this 499 units come from. Okay, and today in 2020, of course, this is not officially complete yet. We still have another good 2 months to go. But as of 2020, whatever months that we have gone through so far, we are looking at about 1105 per square foot. Okay, and these are looking at the new sales. So I only put based on the developer sales and not including the resale that, the prices would have been very different depending on when it was launched. Okay, so from new sales to new sales, 404 all the way to 1105. And in fact, in the year 2020, there were 762 and counting, okay, number of units that were sold in the new launch market. Okay, so this is a total of 173% growth. If you remember earlier with the timeline, there were a couple of years, okay, sometime in between 06 to 2010, that there were no EC land that was on sale simply because they wanted to sort of stop it and change it to DBSS, but apparently it didn't quite work out. Okay, seems like the demand for the ECs were actually higher. I guess people truly wanted the lifestyle. In that sense, they preferred the lifestyle over the convenience of the location. Okay, so that's what we derived so far. My top picture is blocking. Okay, let me try and shift that. Thank you. Sometimes I don't know how to shift my picture. But then if you all don't see me, right, then how? Okay, so anyway, this is monthly, quarterly, yearly. I have toggled to yearly. Okay, so of course you can actually customize your own charts. So maybe what I'm gonna do is I will quickly toggle to the market trends tool on EdgeProp so that we can do a live version. Okay, so I'm going to the website right now, edgeprop.sg. And the tool that we just used, okay, is called Market Trends. So you just need to mouse over Tools, the header here, and Market Trends is under the header called Free Tools. Okay, but do take note, only with a subscription you will be able to see more details. Okay, so if you want to do comparison, you want to see the units that make up that particular trend, you will need a subscription. Okay, so I'm just going to click on market trend right now. And let's do one for EC. Okay, so you can actually create charts based on a particular project, okay, or tenure or subtype. So all these fields you can choose to put in or not put in, okay, depending on whether you want to zoom into a particular project or is it more of a generic trend. Okay, so in this case I am zooming in directly to ECs only. Okay, so I just select ECs, but you can see over here we have all the different property subtypes listed here. Okay, so including commercial, industrial, you will be able to create trends for any type or subtype. Okay, if you are looking at a specific district or region, you can choose that as well. For the purpose of this chart that I want to create, I don't really care about the location. But if you want to zoom in, which location has more ECs or which location ECs are doing better, you can further zoom down into that. So just now, like I mentioned, I was looking at a new sales, okay, just new sales, and I didn't put in a size range here. But if you want to zoom in to say that, maybe I want to know how the shoebox units are doing in comparison to the 3-bedroom units, you can actually put in the size range or you can type it in. So if you're looking at a specific project maybe, and you know that, oh, the one bedroom units are 406 to 512, okay, you can type it in, and you can be very specific to that unit size alone, okay. But in this case, I just want a very generic all sizes in, okay, ECs new sale, okay. And let's show you so I'm going to click on show market trend here, okay. Okay, so you can see under results for, we have the executive condo, all district, all sizes, new sales, all tenure, okay. So depending on what fields you put in, it should show up here. So just use this to double check. Sometimes you might have missed a certain button, or you overlook and you might have clicked on something wrongly, and that would result in a result that you don't really want. Okay, so always double check under results to make sure that this is the fields that you want to use, okay. And so over here you can see by default I am on monthly. I'm on monthly, okay. So by default it will be a last 3 years record, okay. There's a time bar over here, so you can actually move the two circles as sliders, okay. And you can see how this trend is for the last 3 years, okay. So you would notice in most cases for monthly it can be very erratic for the average price, okay. So average price is this orange color line here, and the bars behind, all these bars, these are your volume, okay. These are your volume for the individual months. So in most cases I would recommend to use either quarterly or yearly, okay. Why is that so? Because if you see monthly is very erratic, it could be just this month there was a launch and therefore there was a spike in prices, okay. Or just happened that this unit that was sold, wow, it's a very big unit, therefore per square foot is very low and it brings down the overall price. So it is usually, okay, unless you are monitoring on a month-to-month basis, it's usually better to refer to quarterly or yearly, okay. So you will notice that the average price will be smoother, and you will have a better idea of how things are, okay. So you can also see the growth rate here, okay, and this would be from the very first point. So in this case I am at quarter 4 2017 all the way until quarter 4 2020. So you will notice it when I toggle from monthly to quarterly, this time period also changes. We will try to match as close as possible when you toggle from monthly to quarterly, but of course it may not be exactly the same lah, okay. And then of course for yearly, we will show you a minimum of 7 years. So if I'm going to click on yearly, you will see that the time period will change to at least the last 7 years, okay. Of course if you want to pull the slider all the way, you can do so, okay. So you can see in the last 7 years it's pretty smooth, okay. And if I pull all the way, so just now we had the chart from 1996, right? So that was when ECs were launched, okay. So you can see this is the price chart. This is the chart that I created just now for the PowerPoint slides, okay. So how do you actually know from one point to another there's actually a certain growth rate, okay. So we actually have this function here. This is a text tool. This is more for putting your headers in your table, okay. So let me just show you. So I can just say EC trends, okay, EC trends 96 to 2020, okay, something like that. So maximum I can have a total of 3 text boxes, okay. And what I want to show you is this pencil tool here. So I can actually see the growth rate from point 1 to the last point, or for both price and volume, okay. So if you look below, I have a average price with the growth rate of 174, okay. So that is from 96 all the way to 2020, okay. So this chart is live. Just now the one was done a few weeks ago. So you can see that the prices, there was a bit of change. 96, of course, no change. It's still 404. But for 2020 now, the average price is 1110. Okay, so you can see the growth rate is 174. But in the case you want to know what is the growth rate for a different timeline, okay, let's say I want to know the growth of the price from 2008 all the way to 2020. Okay, so I would draw 2 points. Okay, let me draw that again. 20. Oops, let me delete this. There's a cross to delete. Okay, so why was there an error? Let me explain to you. Nothing wrong. Let me just try this again. So the first point I'm going to click is 2008. That's what I wanted just now. And I want to know until 2020. So I click on the point number 2. Oops. Okay, click on point number 2. Wait, did I overclick? Okay, line deleted. Okay, try again. Fat fingers. Okay, first point, 08. Second point, 2020. And then you can see that there is a growth rate of 96% from 08 to 2020. Okay, so just now, if you notice, I had another version which shows me a negative at 08. How did that happen? So the same 2 points, 08 and 2020, but if I were to look at it in a different perspective, okay, so this is point A is 2008, point B is 2020, so there was a growth of 96%. So I'm going to click on the cross to delete this line, and now I'm going to try another line, okay, which is from 2020 is point A to 2008. Okay, so now you will see the same point, but different direction. It is looking at a negative 50%. Okay, so do take note when you draw the line, the direction also matters. Okay, are you looking from 2020 to 08, and then you know that there was actually a fall. But if you're looking at 08 to 2020, there was an increase. Okay, so how many of these lines can you draw within one chart? A total of 3 lines. Okay, and if you want to delete, it is the cross beside the percentage that is shown. Okay, and if you're looking at volume, okay, so the line, if I put at price, it will be from the orange line, right? So if I'm looking at volume, okay, it could be from this point, 1998. Yeah, tap on it. Okay, 1998 all the way to 20. What year is this? 2018. Okay, so you can see the line here. So 98 to 2018, there was a fall of 43%, and you can see that the dot is actually on the bar behind. Okay, so it is a bar chart. This is looking at the volume. Okay, so maximum of 3 lines in one chart. Okay, so of course you can play with the other filters if you want to, but let me just go back to the slides first. Yeah, okay, go back to the slides. Let me know if my photo is still blocking, but it should be okay. It should be small enough to not see me too much. Okay, so this was done for the 96 all the way to 2020. Okay, obviously prices have went up a little bit. Number of units also went up a little bit based on what we tested just now. Okay, what about last 10 years? Okay, if we are looking at 2010 all the way to 2020, prices, of course, it will be lesser in terms of percentage. We are looking at 49%. So if I had bought it in 2010, the average price would be about 741, and today is about 1,001. Okay. What if I want to do a comparison? Okay, so now this time round, I'm actually comparing between ECs and private property. Same thing, I chose new sales just to be fair in a way, okay? And you can see that the growth rate, okay? So later I'll show you guys how to do the comparison, okay? But you can see that the growth rate in terms of the prices directly from developers, actually EC prices shoot up faster than private. So it might not exactly be a very good thing, okay? But I mean, that is what the chart says lah. Okay, so this is also, I selected yearly. Of course, if you want to try monthly and quarterly, it can be a bit different also, the results. Okay, and what about resale? Okay, so once it is in the resale market, okay, regardless whether it is after 5 years or more for EC, you can see that actually private and EC in terms of the price growth, about the same lah, 43%. Okay, so that means to say, actually, if you look at these two charts alone, it seems that actually it's better to buy private because you sort of, the price didn't shoot up as much, but the growth after you sell is the same. Okay, but of course, not forgetting the perks of buying an EC. Okay, it is still cheaper than private, so you don't have to down so much money. And some of the buyers also have grants. Okay, so of course, depending on the profile of your buyer, it still could be a good buy. Okay. Now, okay, so let me just toggle back to the website. Let me show you how to do the comparison. Yeah. Okay. So back to the website, you can see this is just one trend line, okay, and one volume breakdown. Let me just do a refresh. Okay, let me reset the filter. Okay, and now I want to compare the private versus the EC, right? Okay, so I'm gonna create one trend line for EC. Everything else I will keep the same except there is new sales. And now I will click on this button called compare with other property type. Okay, so I can click on it and you will see now that there will be a new set of filters, and this is for property 1. So I have property 0 sort of, okay, with property 1, and I can even add one more property 2. So in total maximum 3. Okay, I can compare up to 3 trend lines at one go. But for this, I'm just doing a simple EC versus private. Okay, so I'm looking at apartment condo, okay, and also new sales. Okay, so let's click on compare property. And now you can see under results, we have two colors, red color for EC, blue color for apartment condo. Okay, same thing by default, we are in monthly first, okay, which I feel if we look as old as 96, wow, it can be very a lot of details. So let's look at last 10 years. Let's look into last 10 years. Let me go to yearly first. Okay. Okay, yearly and then one more year. Okay. So this is the yearly trend. So just now you can see this is the most updated one. The one in the PowerPoint was just done 1-2 weeks ago. Okay. So you can see over here 50% growth for the red color, which is EC, and 34% for the private. Okay, so actually EC prices are still climbing, okay, versus 34% for the private. But of course, it still depends on which year to which year. So if let's say I just want to try 15 to 2020, last 5 years, okay. So same thing, I'm going to draw the pencil and click on the pencil. Okay. Do take note, once you do a comparison, we will break down the price and the volume into two screens. Okay. So when I click on pencil, it's automatically priced now. Okay. So 2015 to 2020, price went up by 31% for private. Okay. And let's try another one. So pencil again, 2015. 2020. Okay, so you can see that for your EC, okay, EC is the red one, 38% versus 31%. Okay, so same thing, if you want to zoom into parts, smaller parts within the chart itself, you can draw your own line. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the slides. Okay, so I did for resale also, so you can do that on the main page as well. Okay, the main tool itself. It should say pretty much the same thing though. okay? And I actually did an extra one, okay? This one cannot be created directly from the website, okay? But if you actually take the information from land sales, you'll be able to plot this. Okay, so this is the number of land sold per year since 96 all the way until now. So you can see there was a spike in 97, and then there were a few years, remember, in between 05 to 09, there were no EC land for sale. And then after that, from 2010 to 2014, there were a lot of EC lands just released within the year, okay? And that would also affect, okay, do take note, EC, when it is being sold, if you, there will be your first timers, okay, as well as your second timers. Second timers being those who have bought a HDB, a subsidized HDB before, okay? So in such a situation, this also affects the HDB resale market, okay? Because if I'm a second timer, I have to sell my HDB within 6 months from collecting the keys, okay? So that means to see when there's a lot of land, EC land that is being sold, that would also eventually equate to a lot of resale flats added into the market, okay, for sale. So supply for resale flats would go up, okay, and that also brings to the fall of the resale prices, okay. So there's a lot of things that if you look deeper into it, you notice, this thing affects this, and eventually it causes something else to happen, okay. But if you notice from 05 onwards, in fact the last 2 years, okay, the number of land, EC land that is being sold tapered down. So last year and also this year, only 2 lands were sold for EC, okay. So that means to say the supply, the government has chosen to reduce the supply, okay. Okay, so I see some questions. Martin, can we have this presentation slide? Yes, can. After today's session, if you want the slides, get it from your account manager. I will upload it to the cloud, and then you guys will be able to access that. John Joseph, include HDB. Don't know what you're talking like. I think I didn't catch it when I was talking about it. Let me know if you want me to further elaborate on that. Jason, how to configure land cost per plot ratio chart? Okay, land cost, we have another tool called land sales. I believe that tool would answer this question a little bit. Let me know, okay? Later I'll touch on land sales. Let's see if that answers your question a little bit more, okay? So another thing to take note, back to this chart, yeah, is that from 2013 onwards, okay, the point below, January 2013 onwards, developers are only allowed to launch their units for sale 15 months from the date of award. So they buy the land, and most possibly, in most cases, they would have to build their foundation ready, okay, before they can start selling. 15 months should be about time to complete the foundation lah, huh? Okay, so this is what happens. So you will notice a lot of people start buying a lot of land first, because if I don't buy and then I wait until I buy, right, I still need to wait another 15 more months before I can sell. Okay, so that was a bit of a change to the timeline for developers who were looking to purchase EC. Okay, but overall you can see that now, as of now, the number of lands that is being released under the GLS has fallen for EC. So looking forward, maybe every year 2 or maximum 3, as compared to some time back, you can go as high as 8 or 9 per year, okay? Now, there is one tool that allows you to generate a database of ECs, and the name of this tool is called Shortlist. Okay, so I'm just going to toggle to the website to show you the live version. I think it's easier to see. Okay, let me just do that. Okay, so I'm on the website right now. Okay, let me just double confirm everyone is with me. Okay, I'm on the website right now, and the tool that I want to go to is called Shortlist Projects and Transactions. Okay, so I want to shortlist all the ECs in the market right now. Okay, whether it's new sale or resale. So I click on Shortlist Project and Transaction, and then basically from here, okay, so I want to know all the projects that are ECs. Okay, so I'm going to select apartment condo, and now I will zoom into EC. Okay, so if you only want new sale, you can further check or uncheck, but I just want all the ECs. Okay, so time period I will select all. Okay, so that it will pull as early as the old projects in 1996. Okay, of course, do take note this time period will also affect your results later. I'll also share a little bit on how to look at the numbers specifically. Okay, the rest of all these, the price, the district, okay, you can select. Okay, if you only are looking at a specific district, you can select. For price, rank by tenure, any of these filters, based on what you are looking for, or if you have a client looking for a specific age, tenure, size, you can put it in as well. So for simplicity sake, I just want to know all the ECs in Singapore. So I just choose EC and time period all. Okay, so these are the two main filters that I put in. Okay, and you can see there is a list of 69 projects as of now. Okay, of course the newer ones, okay, maybe they sold the land already, haven't launched yet, will not be inside lah. Okay, only until they have a project name and started selling, then you'll be able to see it in the record here. Okay, so I can even toggle by completion year. Okay, the other way would be 99 all the way. So if it was launched in 96, it will be completed in 99, about there, about 3 years to build. And you can see the number of units, the prices, sales volume since day one in a way. Okay, and then rental volume, rental yield, capital gain. Okay, so all these numbers here, if you see average price, okay, this is since day one until now. So if I want to know the average price in current situation, okay, that means not since average since 1996, I will have to set the time period above to, let's say, last 6 months or last 12 months. Okay, but now because I just want to see all the ECs, I didn't set the time period lah. I just put it as all. Okay, so all these from price, sales volume, rental volume, rental yield. All these would be based on all the transactions that happen based on the time period you select. Okay, so this would change if I had changed it to last 12 months. The only thing that is different, okay, that is not affected by the time period that you select is capital gain. Okay, so why is it so? Capital gain is really dependent on when this person buys and when this person sells, right? If they buy it at the wrong time or they sell it at the wrong time, it really would make things, I mean, the gain or loss would be very different. So what we do here is how we calculate gain is based on when it was first launched. Okay, maybe so in this case it was first launched in 1996, and based on current today's price. Okay, so the transactions that happened in the very first quarter since launch, and then the very last quarter today, we will work out on a year-to-year basis what kind of gain they are looking at. Okay, so if that is the case, that means to say this is a yearly percentage. Okay, 2.8 is a yearly percentage. You times how many years if that person have bought it in 96 and until now haven't sell, that is the kind of capital gain they will be looking at. Okay, so you can see all these results here. You can adjust the number of rows as well. Okay, so this would be the full list of all the ECs. And then if I look at under construction, okay, where I have 100 pumps that just TOP, and then a few more that's coming up. Okay, and then there's, if I'm not wrong, another 2 or 3 more lands that haven't even really started building yet. They just bidded for the land, right? So once they start working on it, okay, or start selling, you will see it below as well. Okay, so this is good for you to collect the full database on how all these ECs are performing over the time. Okay. Okay, and let me go back to the slides. Okay, so this is basically where you can get the info for ECs and a bit on the news, okay, for ECs or general new launches, okay. So this one is with relation to the COVID, okay. So this was in May 2020. The National Development Minister said that construction cost is inevitable. It's going to go up, right? So if with all the delays and then all the safe distance measures happening, even within the construction site, that would definitely bring up the cost. Okay, and if you are selling, whether it is ECs or new launches, you would want to highlight this to your clients to say that, you know, maybe it is better to buy now than wait for the construction cost to go up. Okay, construction costs have already gone up, just that the developers are sort of, in most cases, still bearing the cost. Okay, and where did I get this idea from? Okay, so this was another 2 weeks after the earlier news, 26 May. Home prices likely to remain unchanged, okay? Even though construction costs would go up. So on the right hand side, I have retyped it out in bigger font, okay? Construction costs would likely increase by 7 to 10%. That would translate to 2 to 3% for the selling price. But developers also know, right? Or should I say, in most cases, buyers will think, hey, now times are bad, you know, prices should be cheaper. So can you imagine if developers go and increase the price? I think all the buyers will pull back. Okay, so rather than increasing prices, they would keep it stable. Okay, uh, but likely they wouldn't sort of drop prices lah, because all their cost is incurred already, right? They bought the land, construction cost is going to increase, and construction cost is one of the more bigger components that a developer incurs when they build a new project. Okay, so eventually, for now, it will not change. But eventually, when times get better, okay, when the COVID situation gets better, uh, the price would eventually, I mean, I don't think the developer would swallow this or would absorb this permanently, okay? So this is also one way you can convince your client to say buy now. Now for EC demand and supply, okay, just a little bit of insight. Okay, before I touch on this, I have a question. Iverson, ECs are still in general bigger size compared to new condos, right? This one a bit hard to say. Yes, in a way. Yes, in a way. Just that for the whole idea when the developer builds all these projects, right? Whether it is EC or private, okay, the idea is affordability. Okay, so why is it that all these new condos in general are getting smaller and smaller? Okay, because the PSF is getting higher and higher. So they want to keep the quantum about the same, still palatable and achievable, and that's why how some of the units last time maybe 3 bedroom is 1,002, and then eventually became like 1,000, and now you even have 3 bedroom compact, which is like 900 over square feet or even lesser. Okay, that is to keep the overall quantum price still within affordable range. Okay, for ECs, because the per square foot in general is lower, okay, because they paid lesser for the land, there's restrictions, not everyone can purchase, there's eligibility requirements. Therefore, when it is more affordable in a per square foot way, in most cases, developers are also being able to build slightly bigger sizes, okay. Also, another thing is could be because ECs are targeted for own stay, okay, and these are really more for people who are staying permanently there. So rather than investment, so in most cases they would want to build something that is more reasonable for a typical family size. So as of now, yes, I would say agak-agak lah, yes, ECs tend to be a bit bigger than most private condos, but it really still depends if prices eventually creep up and there's no other changes to policies and all that. Yeah, developers might decide that maybe it's better to reduce the size to make the overall price still attractive. Okay, so it could happen also. Okay, so now on the land sales portion, I want to highlight how the government has been looking at the prices. Okay, how the government is basically looking at releasing the demand and the supply. Okay, so government is in charge of the land sales, so they can basically have a say in the supply, right? So what happened is they actually reduced the number of land parcels. Even before COVID come into the picture, they announced in December 2019 that they were going to reduce from 5 to 3 land parcels. So if you refer to uh, 2019, 2018, 2017, most of the land, okay, every half is 5 land, okay, 5, 5, 10, maybe plus minus a little bit. But for the year of 2020, okay, we have 3, 3. 3 in first half, 3 in second half, total 6 lands in the confirmed list. Okay, and also another thing to take note for the first half of 2020, the very first land that was up for tender only happened in quarter 2 instead of quarter 1. Okay, and that was the Yishun Avenue 9. They just closed it on 2 days ago, I think 2-3 days ago. Okay, so it was launched in 30 April. Okay, and something that was very interesting is that the tender close date happened 6 months later. Okay, and this is something new. Usually tenders would close within uh, 2 months max, 6 to 8 weeks. And because of COVID, okay, all these new lands that were being released, you can see Yishun, Tanah Merah, and Jalan Anak Bukit, okay, 6 months, 5 months, and then 9 months, okay. Of course, do take note for the one at Jalan Anak Bukit. I noticed that it is a much bigger plot of land, and I think it is more significant lah in terms of how they wish to design this plot of land. There is a dual envelope land bidding for this, so therefore the tender close date is also the timeline before it closes is also much longer. Okay, then we also have this one which just launched end of October, Timberland. So now we are in second half 2020. Same thing, 3 plots of land. Okay. So this one, October 2020, same thing, the tender close date is 6 months later in April 2021. And then again, we have another 2 plots of land. So if you refer to first half, we have 1 EC, which is Yishun Avenue 9. Second half, we also have 1 EC. Okay, so total only 2 lands being released in 2020. Now you will also notice, other than the EC itself, okay, for the land use that is being used, okay, that is being offered. So we have residential, commercial, residential, and then this one is residential with commercial, residential with commercial. Okay, so they try to have a balanced offering of the different land use across the first half and the second half. So you don't see a lot of residential or a lot of commercial going on at the same time. Okay, so if you look at it, the way the government thinks is really to ensure that the market is stable, okay, with the current COVID situation, or in general, the government really just wants the market to be stable. Okay, so why is it so? If there's a sudden spike in prices, okay, income is not being able to match the increase in prices, okay, and that is no good, okay, because people will complain, right? On the other hand, if there's a sudden fall, we have what 80%, 90% of people with a property in Singapore, okay, home ownership is very high, so that also affects everyone. Okay, so as a government, the whole idea is stabilize market with gentle increase or gradual increase over time, so people feel that, yeah, okay, I buy a property, I can earn some money, right? Okay, so that's generally how the government looks at it. So if you look at this, all these land, when the government actually reduces the supply, why is it so? Remember your demand, supply, and price, right? So if I reduce the supply, chances are price will increase, right? So if the intention is not to increase the price, that means to say the government probably thinks that the demand will not be as high, therefore I try to balance it out, okay? And in fact, if you look at the first half 2020, okay, for Yishun Avenue 9, the number of bidders, because we did track a good 6 months, is still a decent 7 bidders. So later I'll show you how many bidders so far for all the different EC launches. Okay, and Tanah Merah was actually a good response, very, very good response. If I remember correctly, quite a lot of bidders as well. In fact, over what was expected. Okay, so I think the government did think ahead and increase the number of months accordingly before the tender closes, and that definitely helps with managing the demand and the supply and eventually the price lah, so that the prices don't drop. Okay. Okay, and so with that, just a little bit on the news. So this was when they launched the EC site. Okay, so this was in 30th April, and you can see that. Let me refresh this page. Okay, so you can see that over here they extended the public tender period by 6 months. Okay, and also previously it was 6 to 8 weeks. So if you caught me earlier, it's like a 1.5 to 2 months. Okay, so if you read below, the authorities may be hoping that when it closes in end October, the pandemic would be contained or market sentiments improve, which is in fact the case right now. I think so far prices and all the volume are pretty healthy. Okay, of course, at the end of the day, because COVID is pretty unique to it being a pandemic, that eventually will still require the rest of the world to rest of the countries to heal before everything goes back to normal. Because if people can't travel and all that, that would also affect. If people travel to Singapore and then we don't have enough controls, that could change the whole ball game again. So I'm also very concerned how things are going to be like. But I think can lah. Okay lah. Let's have faith with with the policies in place and let's see how it goes lah. Okay. So this is the tool that you can use. Okay, land sales, that can help you to obtain information on a particular plot of land. Okay, it can be for ECs, it can be for private property. So basically, under land sales, we cover government land sales as well as en bloc information. For en bloc, you'll be able to find info for those that en bloc in 2017, 18 onwards. For GLS, we have a record as early as late 2006. Okay, and so over here, later I'll show you the live one, but over here you'll be able to see that there's a search title on the top, which allows you to see which allows you to key in the address, okay, or the project name. So if let's say I don't have a project name yet, then of course I'll have to key in the address or the street name. Once the project name is out, okay, if we have updated it, you can search by project name. If not, please still search by the street name. For on block, you can search by the old name or the new name when it is out. Okay, so over here you can see that I just cropped this only. Okay, and you can see that the status is closed on 29 October. Do take note there is another one called sold. Okay, these two are the more important land status that I want you guys to take note of, because once a tender closes, okay, the assumption is that the top bidder would be the winner of the land, right? Which in this case is Sing Holdings. But usually between the status close and sold, it's a good 1-2 weeks. And why is there a difference is because in the event, a particular there may be a case whereby the top bidder, okay, their proposal that they submit is not in line with what the government wants to do in that particular area. So in that case, maybe the top bidder may not be the winner, okay? So sometimes if you see close to sold is confirmed, okay, this developer has won this bid. Okay, close, there is still a possibility, not very high, but there is still a possibility that the top bidder may not be the winner, okay? Now, another thing to take note is all the information in the center, these are under the land attributes. These are taken from press releases, okay? So all the details are basically taken from the newspapers like Straits Times, Business Times. Okay. So, and then another thing to take note is the highest bid, okay? Highest bid in million. This is basically the cost of the land. So you can see 373.5. This would also be the cost of the land on the right hand side under the estimated break even, 373.5. A special case, not for ECs but for en bloc, is that sometimes, because en bloc, if let's say you en bloc a leasehold property, or you en bloc a property where there's potential to increase the plot ratio, okay, developers may incur additional costs such as your development charge, differential premium, lease top up. So all these, as long as the press release actually mentioned them, we will add it into the cost of the land. Okay, so we added into the price of the land. So that's one thing to take note. And then everything on the right hand side, these are all the different costs that a typical developer would incur when they build a new project. Okay, so the one that we mentioned earlier is that construction could eventually go up. Okay, and that could possibly bring down that would possibly bring up the break even, okay? But as of now, let's just assume that everything is gonna be the same now because developers are gonna sort of absorb the cost, right? So over here we have the estimated break even per square foot per plot ratio. How is this calculated? There is an algorithm in our back end that takes into account the site use, the size, everything to work out the cost that the developer is likely to incur. Okay, so this estimated break even per square foot per plot ratio, oh my god, is the minimum per square foot that the developer needs to charge a buyer. If not, they will make a loss. Okay, so in cases where you see prices below this per square foot, it is a steal. Okay, why do I say so? Because from this break even, usually the developer selling price, you need to add another 10 to 20% in terms of profit. Okay, so how do you gauge this particular per square foot here? Is that some of you might be wondering, so this is based on what kind of size? Usually it is based on, say, 1,000 square feet size, okay, maybe a small 3-bedroom. So of course, if you are looking at a bigger unit, the per square foot could go down. Smaller unit, per square foot could go up, and then of course you can adjust by the facing and all that also. So this, just think of it as a very average unit, mid floor, mid facing, about 1,000 square feet. So from there you can adjust the per square foot accordingly. Okay. So if you come across prices that are below break even, or below this 10-20% profit, it is a good time to go in a way. Okay, why would even developers go below break even? Because sometimes they want to attract the volume first, maybe in the initial launch stage, and then eventually they can slowly increase their price. Because general buyer sentiments is, if initially they launch and then not much sales, behind very hard to sell. They follow crowd. So in this case, in most situations, developer would price more attractively during the launch period. Okay, and then also once they hit, say, 50% of the sales, they will slowly increase the price to cover for whatever losses that might have been incurred earlier. Okay, so that's one thing you might want to look out for also. And so before we move on to the last section, I just wanted to show you the latest 10 EC land sales that was being launched and sold. Okay, so you will notice, if we look from below, from August 2015, okay, so we have all the 600 over prices. The last one was September 2016, that was break even at 671. And then from March onwards, there was a jump. Okay, from March onwards, all the launches started to break even at 900 plus per square foot. Okay, and you will also notice that that also affects the take-up rate. Okay, so those that were launched from River Cove and earlier, these were all fully sold already. Of course, they were launched earlier but chances are that prices were also more attractive. Okay, so from my understanding, these projects, 100 Palms, 678, it was launched at about 1,000 per square foot. Okay, then River Cove is about 1,001. Okay, and then moving forward, you're starting to look at the 1,001, 1,002 range already. Moving forward, so at a break even of 900 plus, you add another 15-20%. So prices are looking to be that way already. We have a good 2 years, okay, 2+ years where prices have not looked back to the previous per square foot. Now they are all at 900 plus. In fact, I've just added the latest one, which is Yishun Avenue 9. So I put an asterisk there because it is not officially sold yet, but it should be more or less there lah. Okay, so that one was break even at 976. So you can see everything after from Ola onwards, it was all 7 and 8 bidders, pretty healthy. Okay, from the take up from the developers trying to bid for the land. Okay, I see some questions. Let me see. Ernest, will property gain be calculated based on present value instead of just differential price from purchase and selling? Wow, so cheap. Okay, wait. Will property gain be calculated based on present value? And then Jason, any table format of the land cost for projects and land cost. Okay, so for land sales, right, it won't be in table format, it will be in this format. Let me show you where it is. Ernest, I come back to you. Wait. Too chim. Okay, so I go to tools and then I go to land sales. This is where you can get all the different land sales, but it is not exactly in the table format lah. Okay, So we have Ana Bukit coming up, and then Yishun is closed already. This one is closed. I just haven't had time to fill it in. Okay, but you can see all the rest are sold. You can see the status. So all this is actually based on chronological order. Okay, so the newest one will be on top. And if it is an on block, it will be indicated as on block. So in this case, this was not successful because there's no break even. So if there were people who successfully buy the land, okay, you'll be able to see the break even details below. So this is one more. Okay, so this is another en bloc that was successful, and you can see that on the right hand side you will have the estimated break-even details. So you can go page by page, every 10 records per page, or you can search by the street name or project name. Okay, so that is to answer Jason's one. Property gain. Ernest, are you referring to the more like market trends section where you can see the price growth and all that? Instead of just differential price. Sorry, this one a bit too cheap. Present value. Not, I don't think I mean, for us, under EdgeProp, we don't really work on the present value and the future value, that kind. Yeah. So, but if let's say you are zooming in, so if let's say, for example, the earlier parts where we show you how say for example, how the EC prices are going at, okay, where you can see the price trend and all that. If let's say you want to zoom in to okay, so for example, we are looking at new sales, right? Let me show you that. I hope that answers don't, let me see. Okay. Okay. So back to this slide, okay, so you can see that prices have increased about 49% in the last 10 years, okay, but all these are based on new sales, right? So if let's say you want to know for a specific project, okay, whether that specific project is able to grow that much in terms of growth, you will need to actually key in that specific project, and you'll be able to see how the prices have trended, okay, from new sales to resale and all that, and then how much they can earn at each point in time. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know whether that answers your question, but hopefully it does. So anyway, if there's more questions, or if Ernest, you can elaborate a little bit, I see whether I can answer your question. If not, I will move on to the quiz. Okay, we have a quick quiz just to end the day. Okay, 5 questions. If you are able to, um, if you are my top winner, you will win a prize. Okay, so I'm going to toggle to the website right now. So what I need you to do is go to menti.com, okay, and key in this code. So you can see on my screen, I need you to open a new window, a new tab, and use this code to join our quiz. So depending on how many people we have on board, I will see whether to give just top prize or a bit more lah. Okay, so if the more people who join you, then I'll give more chances for people to win lah. Okay, so we have a goodie bag to give away. If I'm not wrong, it is still the one with a sports bag, and then there's gym towel, cutlery set, quite a few things inside the goodie bag. Okay, so do join us. Pretty simple questions. Okay, if you are fast and accurate, you get more points. Just 5 questions, and then of course, if you have won before, then give others a chance lah. Okay, you can still play, but we will only give you the same prize once. Okay. So any more? I see a lot of viewers, but not enough players. More players, more fun. Okay. So, but also take note, once I start on the quiz, you may have problem joining already because it is a real-time kind of game. Okay. So best to have everyone on board ready, then we start. Okay, so I'll wait for a little while more. Okay, now we have 9 people on the screen who has joined us. Okay, do join us. Reminder to go to menti.com and use the code 746669. Okay, okay, more people. Okay, we have 16. Okay, meanwhile, if you have any more questions, you can leave them in the live chat, and then I think I can get started lah. Okay, so as of now, I will give the top 2 winners prize. Okay, top 2 . Let's get started. Start down. Okay, so 5 questions. Simple ones, really, as long as you're listening. Now, do you remember what is the current income ceiling for ECs, the latest one? Is it 12, 14, or 16K? Three, two, one. Time's up. Yeah, okay, most people got it right. 14% got it right. Well done. Okay, let's see who is leading right now. So we have, let's see, Jen, Jess, and Jason. Wow, all the J's on top. Well done. Okay, it's really close out. You can see the number of points. So still got chance. Okay, top 2 winners will walk away with something. Okay, next question. Okay, which tool can you use to extract a database of all the ECs in Singapore? So I shared a number of tools. Some of them are here, some of them we didn't touch on it today, but just to distract you guys. Now, do you remember which is the tool you can use? And the answer is, yeah, that's where we start to eliminate some people. Okay, so the answer is shortlist. Shortlist projects and transactions. So I'm going to shortlist all the ECs in Singapore. So I set all the district, I'll add all the district in Singapore. Okay, so this is the one. Let me just quickly show you. Tools, shortlist project and transaction. And you can put in all the filters. So remember just now, I have put in the filter for EC. Okay, so I uncheck EC. And then of course, time period. If let's say I want all the very old ECs, then I'll have to set to all lah. Okay. But if I want to know the recent performance of all these ECs, I should select 6 or 12 months. Okay. So let's move on. Wow, some changes to my leaderboard already. Now we have Joe, Lynn, and Denise on the top. Well done. Question 3. How many trends can you compare within one chart? So this one is talking about market trends. So if you want how many more properties within one chart, how many trends in total, how many lines in total can you add in? And the answer is 3. Yeah. Okay, most people got this right. Okay, maximum 3 trends at one go. Let's see if there's any change to my leaderboard. Seems like it. So we now have Lynn, Jess, and Daniel. Okay. Question 4. Okay, how do you delete a line that is drawn using the pencil tool? So just so I have the timeline, and then I want to click point A, point B, draw a line to find out the percentage. Do you remember? If I want to delete that line, how do I do it? Haha, I smoke some people kena. There's no eraser tool, okay? So at the end of the line, you'll see a percentage that says, oh, how many percentage growth or negative growth. And there will be a cross right beside the percentage, okay? So we have 10 people who got it right. Okay, so now it is Lynn, followed by Daniel, followed by Chris. Last question. Yeah, last chance to be my top winners. Martin, you're supposed to put it, you're supposed to go to menti.com. Do you key in the code? Are you inside, even inside or not? You cannot put in the live chat, no? Don't put the result, the answers in the live chat. That one is for me to know only. Okay, so how many GLS land is allocated for second half 2020? So if you never read properly, you thought it's just 2020, then it's 2 lah. But for each half, there's only 1 land being allocated in the confirmed list. Okay, so we have 7 winners here, 7 people who got this right. Okay, so let's see. So I have Lynn, followed by, Daniel, Lynn, and then I think Jess is very close behind. So I'm going to give it to Jess also. So Daniel, Lynn, and Jess, you are my top 3 winners. What I need you to do is to take a screenshot of your own screen, your own name or nickname, your own icon, and your own points, and send it to us. Okay, so if you look at the live chat right now, my colleague Shami has put in who you need to contact with your screenshot, okay, so that we can arrange to for you to pick up your goodie bag, okay, for joining our quiz today. Okay, Daniel, Lynn, and Jess, congratulations. Okay, remember to take a screenshot of your own screen. Don't screenshot my screen, okay? Okay, so with that, okay, for those of you who have hang on all the way, okay, I suppose it's interesting enough for you. So also I want to share the promo that we have today, okay, for those of you who have not signed up yet. Okay, what we have shared today is basically a few of the tools that is under our Pro Tools package. So if you sign up for Pro Tools, you have full access to all our different tools. And for this month, in fact, until the end of the year, we have a twin deal that allows you to get Pro Tools as well as Prop Points. So Pro Tools is for all your analytical tools, and Prop Points is more for leads generation, where we basically try to bring you more leads to your listings through advertisements such as social media, Google display ads, and then of course remarketing based on the consumer behavior. Other than that, you can also use Prop Points for FSVO as well as feature inquiries, where you can get owners and then also buyer and tenant leads directly. Okay, so if you get both of them, it is at $599, which is a good 20% off the original price. Of course, if you want to get the individual tools, check with your account managers for the prices. Okay, and so I also put in the account managers details at the site for those of you who haven't taken it down earlier. Okay, so with that, thank you everyone. If let's say you have more questions, you can check with your account managers also. And for those of you who think today's training is good or no good, you can also scan the QR code to leave us a feedback. Okay, so if you think it's good or how I should further improve it, let me know. And then last one would be play music. Okay, so thank you everyone. I hope you guys found today's topic interesting and useful, and we will see you next week for, I think it is for HDB. Okay, so this whole month we'll be covering all the different property types slash subtypes. So next week will be how to be a pro for HDB. So we're covering tools that is related to HDB. And yeah, thank you. Remember to like, subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.